This video is for people who are looking into the Fit for Service Mastermind by Aubrey. I joined Fit for Service exactly 1 year ago, and I wanted to share with you my experience that I had in 2019 to help you make a decision if you want to join Fit for Service. In this video, you will learn what you will actually get when you join Fit for Service, what it actually costs besides the obvious tuition fees, and how it helped me a lot to transform myself in 2019. Fit for Service is a mastermind group by Aubrey, the entrepreneur, podcast host, and just badass human being. And he promoted Fit for Service back in 2018 as a mastermind for 150 people that want to serve the world. And he wants to help those people get fit in all areas of their life so they can serve better. So what will you get when you join Fit for Service? And I will tell you my experience that I had in 2019 and also the changes that are planned for the 2020 class. So to start off, you get a weekly challenge. For us in 2019, it was either a physical, spiritual, emotionally, or relationship challenge. And we get daily Instagram posts from that private Fit for Service Instagram page. And if you want to see all 52 challenges we got in 2019, check out the blog post down below on maxhack.com. You get a monthly Zoom call with Aubrey in a small group between 10 and 20 people, so you can really connect with Aubrey and ask him personal questions. You get a monthly book recommendation where the people in the group are also encouraged to talk about the book and share their experiences with it. You can actually be very proactive when it comes to the whole structure of Fit for Service. So for example, when we started out with just the Instagram page, people realized that there was not the best platform to actually connect and communicate with each other. So people created an unofficial Slack channel, which as of right now died out because it was replaced by, again, unofficial WhatsApp groups. And those WhatsApp groups are right now very active with like hundreds of messages every day where people share like really openly stories, feelings, just what's going on in their life and where they need help or just cool things they achieved, they transformed in their life. For me, the biggest value was to meet and connect with the other FFS people, as everyone in the group is just so really hard working on themselves to become a better version of themselves and to actually serve the world and do something good for the world. And that felt really empowering just to meet so many, really open, vulnerable and hardworking people that are on the same path as I am. And that felt really great, and it's really for me the biggest value in FFS. People are very open to deep topics of personal development, trauma work, plant medicine, just personal growth in general. At the end of each quarter, there was always a summit, which means a 2.5-day meetup with 100 to 150 people from the group. And together we had lunch, we had dinner, we had workshops, we had different sorts of sessions, some even like very spiritual sessions, and just connected really with the people in person. All of the summits in 2019 were either in the US or in Mexico. And if you're from Europe, check out the link down below to our FFS Europe group. Most people in the group come from the US or Canada. There were really only a handful of Europeans and Australians. You get access to the coaches, Caitlin Howe, Kyle Kingsbury and Eric Godsey. And I feel they were very committed to really help people get fitter. They also connected a lot to the group by sharing their own stories, their own vulnerabilities. So for example, I remember at the last summit that I went to in Sedona, Kyle Kingsbury, this badass human being, ex-UFC fighter with a family, a beautiful wife. Like from the outside, he looks like he's got all his shit together and he's just the man. And he shared like this really vulnerable story of him taking too much LSD and he could barely keep his tears back, and it was just so inspiring to see a man like him just really open up and tell his truth. And I feel this really inspired me to live my truths and share it openly with other people. And this is just one example of how the coaches, but also everybody in FFS kind of lift each other up through being in their truths and just sharing openly. Before I talk about the summits, just some things I want you to be aware of. First of all, you are in a group that is reading the same books, listening to the same podcasts, gets a lot of the same information and opinions in. So just make sure you don't fall into the trap of confirmation bias. Make sense of the world for yourself. It's not a perfectly structured or organized program. It's constantly evolving, as I mentioned, with the Instagram, the WhatsApp, the Slack, and so on. Yeah, it's very optimized for people in the American time zones. So just understand that if you're like in Europe or Australia, it might be a stretch to make it to the live calls or to the summits. If you're from Europe, check out the link down below to the FFS Europe group. So let's get into the experience that I had at the summits. It was such a great feeling to meet people for the first time after talking to them on Instagram for like 3 months. And I will just share with you my experience that I had in Austin, Texas. The official summit was Friday night to Sunday afternoon, and I already arrived on Wednesday night. Thursday night I met up with a couple of people who were already in the city, and Ben and I went for a kayak tour. Then on Friday there was an unofficial meetup for lunch, and yeah, I was again super excited to meet a lot of people in person for the first time. And Matthew Myro, who's also a local from Austin, led a Tai Chi session in the park for like 50 people. That was super awesome. And then Friday night there was the first official get-together outside of town in a place called Gingerland. It was, just some dinner, some drinks, some connecting, and a little talk by Aubrey. Saturday morning we did group workouts together in the Honor Gym, and I signed up for the Steel Club session that was followed by an obstacle parkour, which we did in groups. And in between we had like a lot of time to really connect in person and have a lot of talk and connection. Early Sunday morning we did a yoga class with Christine at Black Swan Yoga. My favorite activity on that summit. An ecstatic dance session that Aubrey led with loud music and a story of rebirth. So we cried, we laughed, we screamed, and yeah, that was really a spiritual experience for a lot of people. I skipped the second summit in Tulum, Mexico, and went to the third summit in Sedona, Arizona. Sedona by itself is a magical place in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by huge red mountains. And just adding 150 FFS people to that made it really mind-blowing. We had several workshops on the topic of relationship. My favorite part was the shamanic breathwork session that we had with the local shaman, Anahata Ananda. That was really a spiritual experience for me. Let's talk about money and commitment. For 2019, the price if you paid upfront for the whole year was 10K in tuition fees or 950 a month. And I spent another 7K to travel to the 2 summits that I attended. So for 2020, there will be the following changes. In 2019, we had 4 quarters: physical, mental, relationship, and spiritual. Whereas in 2020, there will be the 12 stages of the hero's journey divided into 3 trimesters. And for those 3 trimesters, you will have 3 summits, which will be a bit longer, around 4 days each in Tulum, Lake Tahoe, and again Sedona. And there will be 3 more unofficial meetups, which will be around 2 days each. The total tuition fee for 2020 is $12,500 US if you pay upfront for the year. And if you pay only every 4 months, you will have to add another $1,000. If you're from the US, the total investment is probably around 20K. And if you're from Europe and you're flying in for more than just a 3-4 day weekend, I would consider the investment around 25 to 30K. Another commitment is time, of course, and this really depends on how committed you are. I would suggest to at least plan in 1 hour a day to really connect with the people, read the books, and do the challenges and integrate things into your life. I also realized that it makes sense to actually take another 2-3 days off after a summit to really take that inspiration and put it into transformation. Overall, I feel personally I haven't fully taken advantage of FFS, but still it was a great program. It really helped to accelerate my growth, and it feels really empowering to meet other people on the same path. So to all my FFS brothers and sisters watching this, it was really magical to connect with you. And I hope I could help you, the viewer, help make a decision to join FFS, to join a mastermind like this. If you're from Europe, check out the FFS Europe group. And if you want to see some of the cool people that I met in FFS that I actually interviewed, check out this playlist here on YouTube. And if you have any questions on Fit for Service, on my experience in it, you can connect with me on Instagram or also just post a comment down below here on YouTube.